This is a 1996 Toyota Land Cruiser FZJ80. Come with me, let's take a walk around because this thing is a beauty. Built in 1996, it's got the FZJ engine, which is obviously the preferred engine out of Land Cruisers, 95 through 97. And this is in that super rare midnight shadow color. You can see here in the sun, it's got that blue shine, right? The sun just reflects off of it. But in the shade, it's gonna be like a darker, dark blue, even black, which on the other side, we've got the shade. But before we go over there, I'll address one question that many of you might be asking yourselves. What's this? So Toyota has the yellow, orange, red, 3 stripes. Some people have it going across the whole car, down low, different places. So this is my play on it. This is vinyl. You just can peel this right off, or you can leave it on there for 10 years. It's that car wrap that obviously a lot of people put on their, $500,000 sports cars. So I use blue just to play off of the midnight shadow, and then gray and silver to kind of match the silver boards, the chrome trim, and those Zarges cases up top. But I think it gives it a cool look, and whoever the new owner of this truck is, well, you can just peel it off if you want. So here are some of the key things on this truck. It's got a lift, as you can see. That's a sizable lift right there. Old Man Emu, one of my favorite. It's kind of like the go-to, like a 2.5 to 3 inch lift. It has SLE side steps, or sliders as you'd say, which is key if you're going to go overlanding, rock crawling. This is like the first upgrade you need to do, and you need to get good quality ones. They're usually about $1,500. This already has it, so you don't have to worry about that. With a connected to the other side, to the frame. It's bolted to the frame. So if you ever hit a rock, you basically slide over it and you protect your panels. Moving to the front, we have an ARB front bumper and a winch. So the winch comes in handy when you have to help your friends out. Because let's face it, this is a Land Cruiser. You're not going to need that winch for yourself unless you get yourself in a real big predicament. Another reason why it'd be very rare that you'd need the winch is because this one is triple locked. So that means center locked, which all Land Cruisers are, splitting 50-50 to front and back, which engages when you go in low, or if you have the 7-pin mod, which this truck has that mod. But the front and rear locker means you lock your front axle and you lock your rear axle. It's the ultimate of 4x4. It doesn't get better than that. So this one is the triple lock version of Land Cruisers, and the 80 series, only 30% of Land Cruisers were triple locked. And then take into account the very rare amount that were in this midnight shadow, which as you can see on this side, it's looking pretty dark, right? Pretty awesome, almost like it's dark blue or black. But triple lock midnight shadow, super rare, 1996. And it's got a Prinsu Roof Rack. It does have a tow hitch, but in these trucks, you really don't want to tow anything over its rated 5,000 pounds. So maybe, if you're towing one of those turtle, one of those all-terrain deals, sure. But a lot of people get these vehicles because they're so roomy and there's lots of space. And we're going to get to it in a second. This has a built not bought rear drawer system, so pretty awesome / sleep platform. But the Prinsu is a good roof rack. You could remove those cases and put a rooftop tent. This little box here is all the relays for the lights that are up top, so they wire through there. So you got your LED in the back. You actually have solar panel. So a solar panel that's feeding the dual battery system, which we'll check that out in a second. And then your front bar on the Prinsu. This is riding on some Wild Peak all-terrain tires. So lots of meat on them. As you can see, pretty much new. These have maybe less than 2,000 miles on them, so tons of meat on this cruiser. And those are 285s, 16s, which means, or sorry, 75 16s, I believe, which are the go-to 33s on the vehicle. Just, it's the sweet spot, right? You can go 35s without re-gearing, kinda, but the 33s just drive so great. All right, I think we'll take a look at the interior, but we're gonna go via this side, which is on our shade. So another cool feature of this vehicle, the previous owner, he was not a small dude. He was 6'3", or is 6'3". He's still alive. I shouldn't say he was. 6'3", and probably like 230 pounds, a big dude. And these chairs are aftermarket and, you know, like new. They're awesome. These won't crack like that alligator leather that came in Land Cruisers. I mean, find me a Land Cruiser that's got perfect leather in the front that's OEM, and it had to have been put into a time capsule. They don't last. A lot of people reupholster them, do them in vinyl. That's why the upholstery Land Cruisers are highly sought after, because they're just so clean. The upholstery they used in the mid-90s, awesome. The leather they used, horrible. So, nice clean steering wheel, which is nice. And everything here is just super clean. You got 2 switches here. So this is for the overhead lights. That's front, that's aft, that's in the back. 2 extra cigarette lighters for the rear fridge or whatever power you want. Has a CB radio, that's cool, a double din. So everything's super clean. And check out the sleeping platform. So 3rd row seats have been taken out of this truck. If you ever want 3rd row seats, there's an abundance of them on the market, and they go for about $200. Why? Because everybody takes their 3rd row seats out. So you could easily find a set in any marketplace. It does have the 2nd row, obviously below, which I'll show you in a second, but we have a sleep platform. So that's to show you that whole platform, pretty cool. Does have an ARB fridge, which is part of the sale, or you can deduct it if you do not want it. And operating sunroof, so opens, closes, great sunroof too. All right, let's look at the other side, because I wanted to show you one of the key components. And what I like on this one is, because the ARB bumper is on the front is black, you know, typically the OEM bumper is that gray metallic. So the rear bumpers, if you've noticed, are a black versus the gray metallic, which I think blends in the car so much nicer, because the sliders and the front bar are black. All right, let's get to the front. And of course, we've got the magic button right here. That's the triple lock. That's what you for those who are going to go a little hardcore, you know, into the wilderness, that's what replaces a winch. This gets you out of so many problems. So front, rear locker dial. This is for the winch, so powering it on, and this is letting it out and letting it in. So power is going each way, so you don't have to get out of the car. It does have the controller, but you can just control everything right from here. Super easy. That panel, this is clean. Carpeting, everything. Original carpets, of course. And here's a view from this side. And that we'll lift that up in a second so you can see what that looks like there. And just everything's super clean. Just super nice. Got your power button and your start in 2nd gear. There's 2 hazards. Reason being is, so this is the true hazard, and then this one is the 7-pin mod. It's just because this is an easier switch to buy versus the center locked, which you could just change the button, but you get it. So 2 buttons there. And then this button down here is for the front fogs. So let's take another look at the front, and then I'll prep the seats so you can check that. But yeah, if you're over 6 foot, 6'2", 6'4", and you're like, man, I love these trucks, but I wish I could get in one. So those are the lights, obviously. And one feature I do like is it's been blacked out. So usually this is the chrome. So if you're wondering, why does this look a little different in the front? That's why. It's been blacked out, and I think the look is Awesome. I love those cases up too. Those Zarges cases are awesome. All right, let's get a quick shot underneath actually. So California its whole life. That's another thing to think about when you're getting a Land Cruiser is this is California its entire life, which means rust free. These trucks are gonna last. We're gonna see these trucks 50 years from now. Reason being is that engine built in Japan is built to be rebuilt 3 times, and you should be able to get, there's the rear spare tire, full spare tire as well, by the way, that's a 33. So it's built to be rebuilt 3 times. So if you get 500,000 miles each time, think about that, 500,000 miles on the engine the first time. And by the way, this has 186,000, just shy of 186,000 miles. So you got a long ways to go. But when you hit about 500,000, it'll be due for an engine overhaul. Once you do that, because these engines, they're tractor engines. They're huge. Even though it's an inline 6, they're huge. Mechanics say all the time, heaviest engine out there, because it's a tractor engine. It's built to last. So engines are always going to last in these vehicles. It's the frame. So you want to be buying from a rust-free state like California, where, you know, get up underneath. If it's crusty, I would stay away. So here is the drawer system. This is the built not bought, just some of the stuff that comes with the car. Cool vanity plate and other gear is in there right now. Here's an empty drawer. There's a little hidden spot in here, which the fridge is covering right now. And then 2 nice side, which here I've got the Scepter tank. So for water, great water. And if you look at my Linktree, Sandy Cats, Oleg, buddy of mine, he makes a pump that pulls the water from underneath, and you have a spigot. It's powered, so the water comes shooting out. So you can actually have a shower on the trail, a spigot, or a garden hose to wash your feet, wash your dog, you name it. And of course, split gate, right? So that split gate is, to me, monumental in the Land Cruiser, and they're taking it out of the 2024. Why this is key? I mean, over the years with my kids, you sit them down there and you gear up, you gear down, you put whatever. You're not going to sit on a dirty bumper, muddy bumper, snowy bumper, wherever you are in the mountains. So when you stop on the trail, this is your buffet table. You become the go-to vehicle. Everybody comes to you because it's just so awesome. And on that note, so the 2024 Land Cruiser, it's just going to be a whole hatch that goes up or just the window. Totally sucks. I believe, and many believe, 80 series are going to go up in value. They're going to hold their value and go up because people that start getting those 2024 hybrids that aren't truly triple locked, they're not solid axles like an 80 series, it's just going to make people realize how amazing these trucks were. And in the mid 90s, these were going for mid 50s, which is like $100,000 today. And it was soccer mom trucks. Nobody was overlanding these. Moms were driving around with triple lock Land Cruisers, picking up their kids from choir, piano, or soccer practice. Imagine. It's like you didn't have to take that whole loop around. You could have driven over the mountain. ActionTrax. So here's something cool. So these come with it, unless I'm going to give you a price if you take everything off the top. If you don't want that, if you don't want those Zarges cases and you don't want the ARB, it'll be $2,000 off the price, which I'll reveal here in a second. But check this out. I'm going to show you that these are ActionTrax, so I actually rep them. If you're ever interested, come in all colors, come with metal, pretty cool. But check this out. You simply take them off like so. Hang on. And there's a blue one underneath. So if you're feeling a little colorful, you can take the gray off and use the blue on the outside. Gives it a totally different look. Or put the silverish gray on. Again, pulls those colors, right? That little vinyl 3-color stripe. So ActionTrax, if you get them with metal, I have those, just hit me up. If you're in Southern California, you can come pick them up. They're $340 with Yellow Zin Grade 8 metal. That blue one's a normal board. I don't usually carry those. I got that because it looks perfect on this truck. All right, let's put this board back up and then maybe we go for a spin, or I will show you also the with the seats in the back exposed. All right, let's do a quick pause. I'm just going to get the seats in the back ready, and we'll show you with the second row seats. All right, so if you have the whole family with you, you can simply do this. So third row is the original leather. You can see that you can take off that upper piece. And voila. So kids in tow, that's just what you do. Or if you're solo or with one other person, you can put the sleeping down on that. And let's check it from this side. So the rear seats. And that's what's cool with this, as I mentioned, you can put these seats further back, get a lot more leg room. I'm 6 foot, so a normal Land Cruiser just fits. And as soon as I got into this one, that's where I noticed, like, holy cow, I can put this all the way back, further back. And I think it's easily about 1.5 inches further back than a standard seat on a Land Cruiser. There we go. So for both driver and passenger, just way more leg room. And another cool feature is usually the visors are droopy. So these aren't the original visors. These are coming out of an LS 400. So you put an LS 400, it fits, and it's a little bit more streamlined. So again, if you're tall, these aren't going to be drooping down in your line of sight. They tuck up real nice, and they're a little bit lower profile. So I think that's a cool thing. And of course, the sunroof. And it works. That's one thing to check. It's always check the sunroof that it opens and closes. All right, what do you say we close up the hatch and we take this thing for a ride? All right, here's that 185,000 or 186,000 mile FZJ engine. It has the bypass for the heater hose already done. Dual batteries, as you can see. And that's the engine as is. I don't spit shine these. This is how it came. And I don't shampoo them or anything. So pretty clean for being a rig that's hit Barango Springs and hit some, dusty areas. Drives great, as it should. All right. The good old 1F FZ engine. All right, so let's go for our drive. I will hand the camera to my co-pilot here.
Thank you, sir. So I do this angle, look.
All right, so lockers, of course, work. They lock in. E-lockers, sometimes you got to drive like 10, 20 yards for it to officially unclick, unlike air lockers. But it's the first thing I tested, and they work. The only thing I'd say with this truck, everything, it's well appointed. It's got everything you could want ready to overland. The only thing cosmetic wise is the dash. It does have cracks in it, which I find surprising because the steering wheel is nice and smooth and not cracked at all. But the dash got cracked, and that can happen in these Land Cruisers. So there are companies that can fix that if it's something that would bother somebody, or you find a new dash. I think it's cheaper just to have it fixed. I don't mind it. I left it. I have a diesel Land Cruiser that has that couple cracks in it. So I'd say that's the only thing cosmetic wise. And as far as capability wise, you know, it's lifted, it's got everything you need. It's got the triple lockers, maybe a rear bumper if you're so inclined to put that in, but rear bumpers are expensive. It's only if you really need to have swing outs. With a roof rack, you can put that spare tire up top or leave it where it is. I think the only problem is if you leave it underneath and you're rock crawling, you can get hung up on it. That's about it. And that's usually rock crawlers get the, you know, end up changing for the rear steel bumpers. But those are expensive. The SLE, the 4x4 Labs, there's a couple other companies that make them as well. But look at this, just acceleration, you know, for 1995. There it is, smooth as can be. You can roll down the highway in a, you know, mid-90s FZJ 80 comfortably at 75, 80 miles an hour. I think once you start going 90, you're 95, you're pushing it, it'll do it, but I like to keep it in the mid-2000 RPM range. And on 33s, you're going about 80 miles an hour. The flow of traffic in California at about 2,600 RPMs with this engine. But drives great, smooth for being lifted. I mean, it's the ultimate, and this is the go-to. You know, 2024 Land Cruiser. I don't know. I think they'll be coming to a new market, a new segment. There'll be new people driving Land Cruisers, but purists like me will always, there'll always be an 80 series in my garage. I have, including this one, I have 3 of them. So I love them so much. I love to find pure, amazing specimens, which this is, and then clean it up, enjoy it for a while, and then put it for sale. But I have Otis, if you've seen my channel before, which if I didn't have Otis, I would be keeping this and this video would not be happening. But I have Otis, so that's my original, and I have a diesel, which I call Black Mamba, which is just right-hand drive, total different experience. But all in all, this one, amazing California truck its whole life. And let's get to price. Let me share it with you what the price is. So as I said, those 2 cases up top, the ActionTrax with their mount, with the fridge, the ARB Fridge, which brand new, that's $1,200 alone. And that was unused fridge. It was actually a demo that someone with one of those trail buggies had in his vehicle that he gave it to me. So all that gear would be $2,000 off. If you don't want it, I take $2,000 off the price. And for a low, you know, sub 200,000 mile Land Cruiser, the price is $34,900. So you could do $32,900 without the case and everything up top, or I gotta buzz it in the gate here. Hang on a second. Or $34,900 with everything, $32,900 without that gear. All right. So you can hit me in the DMs. I'll put my contact information in the description. I'll put another truck I had. I had a 95 Midnight Shadow, just like this. It wasn't triple locked, didn't have the winch, didn't have the ARB front bumper, none of that stuff. It did have a roof rack, no sliders, didn't have sliders, and that sold for $31,000 and change. So this at $34,900 or $32,900 without that gear is actually a killer deal. That other one, if you watch the video, you'll see, but that other Midnight Shadow had 225,000 miles, so about 40,000 more miles than what this one has. And it also had, like, you know, I think 2 or 3 cracks in the dash. So there we have it. Thanks for watching. If you got questions, definitely hit me up. And well, first person, I guarantee the first person that sees this and test drives it will be going home with it. So thanks for tuning in, and you know, subscribe for other cool videos on Land Cruisers, and we'll see you on the next one.